You are here with me today because you are a self-led, highly driven woman who wants to heal, who wants to elevate to that healthiest, most abundant version of you, your future self. But you cannot seem to alleviate these chronic symptoms that keep coming up for you, that you keep dealing with, even though you have tried many different ways, for many years possibly, to try and help yourself. And the truth is that you're probably feeling quite stuck. You may be feeling quite miserable, you may be feeling quite desperate, life may be feeling fairly chaotic, fairly confusing. And that's basically because, all of these things that you've been told to try before just haven't worked. You feel like you're going around in circles, and, potentially those processes in themselves may have actually made things worse for you through no fault of your own. And I truly understand, being in this point, at this point. So what I want to share with you today is how my FIRE methodology is the answer to you finally being able to alleviate your chronic symptoms, that feeling, so that you can really start to feel truly alive, truly happy, so that you can create your life of more, one that you truly love. A life that you truly love living with those deep connections that we, all crave. And this is what you're craving right now. And you just know that it's there for you. I know you feel this because otherwise you wouldn't be here with me right now. And you know that now is the time for you to, truly find your answers and truly open that door. So to create your own resolutions and be able to come into this kind of up-leveling, this expansion into this next level you. And this is where, we can move into this space of feeling real peace in our lives, within ourselves, coming into that wonderful kind of calm, energized, excited, but in a lovely kind of wholesome, calm way, coming into this space of feeling stronger, more empowered, more in control in our worlds, and really able to truly kind of understand, value, and trust in ourselves as well. And this is a really beautiful space to be able to expand into, being able to feel more present, being able to enjoy life, being able to love your life, and feeling joyful is what we're here to do, to be, to feel. And when we can alleviate our chronic symptoms and come into this space, even if we're starting from this point of actually just wanting to alleviate our symptoms, once we start this work and really commit to this work, this is where so many wonderful doors of opportunities then start to open up for us too, from my experience and from that of my clients. This is where, we can come into this space of launching, a new career, perhaps, that, maybe we haven't thought of before, but receiving more abundance from unexpected ways, unexpected opportunities, really coming into this space of like finding love, opening that door to receiving deep love, creating deep connections, whatever it is that may be relevant for you, important for you. And, as I say, at the moment, this might be simply about alleviating the chronic symptoms that are happening for you right now. So I'm going to show you how you can do this using my unique FIRE methodology that I've created, just like my client Gillian did. So she came to me feeling really desperate, in a really desperate space. She had tried every option that she knew to try, She had worked with counselling, CBT, she'd taken meds, so she had taken antidepressants, anxiety medication, and nothing had worked. So she came to this space of, or she felt like she was in this space of, having to live, to feel in the way that she did for the rest of her life, and this lady was only early 30s. She was struggling with chronic anxiety, chronic insomnia, self-worth was super, super low, which was, so sad to see, because, she was a beautiful, beautiful lady, obviously still is, and, was in this space of berating herself, feeling like she was an awful mum. She was bad at her job. She had a really successful corporate job, feeling like a fraud. And in her words, she felt like she was a complete mess. Now, she is incredible. She moved into this space with us working together of feeling really strong, feeling in control. She said she felt like a new person. She was in this place where she could deal with her past, what had happened in her past, but also resolve all of those chronic symptoms that had come up, that were showing up from this past, what had happened through her life experiences. And she was in this space then of really being able to move on, moving on from the past and into this space of really loving the life that she already had, and she knew that she didn't need to be perfect now, and came into this space of knowing that she was an amazing mum, coming into this space of knowing that she was doing a great job, and really starting to love being her, being here, really thriving in life. Now, this incredible lady also went on, it wasn't her intention initially, but also went on to start her own successful business, working in something super, super creative that she loves doing, and which obviously created more freedom for her, but more freedom and time with her family, with her young kids, with her husband, coming into this space of, as I say, all these wonderful opportunities opening up from the work that she did on herself with, the work that we did. So before we continue, who am I to be talking to you about this work? So my name is Anna Reshma, and I'm a somatic healer and an intuitive mentor, and I have created this fire methodology that I'm working with. So over the last 5 years, I have helped self-led, highly driven women to heal their chronic symptoms, so that they can come into this space of feeling really at peace with themselves, in themselves, safe in their bodies, awakening to their kind of highest potential, creating that life that they love, allowing themselves to move into their healthiest, a happier, more abundant version of themselves. So the truth is that I have spent 17 years in my own healing process, prior to which I also spent, 7 or so years trying desperately to help myself. So, I was led to various therapies, various modalities that just did not work, similar to my client. And actually for me, that process was more traumatizing than it was helpful. So over my 17 years of healing, once I'd found the modalities that, really were starting to work for me, with me, over my 17 years of healing, I have spent a lot of time experimenting, learning different modalities, working with those different modalities myself. Some have been incredible, some absolutely not. And that 17 years has all been about experimenting, healing, about tweaking, retweaking things, learning what I needed for deliberate, focused, lasting change. You know, change for that next level expansion, for that next level me, resolving those chronic symptoms that the chronic symptoms that I was experiencing, but also in a way that felt really good for me, for my system, you know, not overwhelming, not shocking in itself. So for many, many years, I struggled with chronic anxiety, insomnia, you know, really struggled with anger and feeling like my emotions were completely in a reactive space rather than responsive. I struggled with destructive behaviors. You know, there was a lot of distraction going on for me, so, you know, a lot of numbing with booze, food, you know, keeping myself constantly busy, which was exhausting. You know, workaholic, playaholic as well. Play is very good for us, but not when we're overdoing it. And, you know, I was really in this space of feeling a ton of guilt, a ton of shame. Self-worth was on the floor. I felt like I was absolutely drowning. You know, my life looked really good on paper. So I had a great corporate job, I had a lovely house, you know, I was engaged to be married, but inside I felt deeply miserable. You know, there were so many symptoms that were happening for me, but I was deeply sad. You know, I felt deep sorrow within me, incredibly unsafe, and I spent, you know, so much time pushing love and connection away from me. So it was my own, you know, mind-blowing experience from my first session of proper healing that started me, which incidentally was through hypnotherapy, which started me wanting to help others with their own, you know, chronic symptoms, alleviating their own chronic symptoms, but also doing it in this superbly effective and efficient and deliberate way. And one that wasn't overwhelming in itself. You know, as I say, previous modalities that I tried, particularly working with kind of talking therapies and that sort of idea, I had personally found quite traumatizing in themselves, you know, and re-traumatizing. So, and with, you know, the FIRE methodology, we don't need to be going into that kind of detail, that content kind of therapy. So for many years, I have worked with myself and learnt hypnotherapy, somatic practices, breath work, energetic profiling, such as human design and gene keys. And I've created my own framework from this, you know, the FIRE methodology from this. Now, what this does, after all of my years of healing and tweaking and, you know, going down various rabbit holes and coming back, this allows you to help collapse your own timelines around healing, you know. And my FIRE methodology is incomparable to anything else because it's my own creation based on my own deep healing, using, you know, all the modalities that I've learned. I'm bringing all of those together, and my deep healing from many different wounds that were creating many different, you know, chronic symptoms for me, and all of those life experiences that had happened. But it allows us also to see where the root cause of our chronic symptoms are coming from, or the root cause, where our chronic symptoms are coming from, the root cause of that. So over these next few videos, I'm going to show you how you and I can leverage my FIRE methodology too, so that you can create your own change, you know, so that you can finally alleviate those symptoms. You know, you can come into your own healing, whether that be, you know, whether those symptoms are physical, mental, emotional, spiritual for you at the moment. And my methodology, you know, all of the modalities that I use focus on our subconscious mind, our body's wisdom, innate knowledge and ability to heal. You know, we have all these answers within us already. And, you know, with all of my programs, with my fire methodology, we can really come in to create that deep, deliberate change using our natural abilities to heal. So, and this, using the subconscious, using the body's wisdom, that is how we find the root cause of what's happening for us. And by the way, this is why, it's highly likely why the approaches that you've used previously, that you've tried previously, you know, those more traditional approaches, it's highly likely that they haven't worked because you haven't been able to come into this space of really being able to identify the root cause, which is, you know, what we are doing within the fire methodology, finding that weed and pulling that out instead of, in a very, you know, gentle, loving way, but so that we can create the lasting change, as opposed to, you know, trying to kind of manage or cope with things in our lives. So my FIRE methodology, the acronym for that, I'll just cover that quickly, and we're going to come into videos talking about, you know, mini videos talking about all of these things as well. But what does FIRE stand for? So FIRE, the F stands for find. So we use the, as I say, the subconscious, the innate ability, you know, for the subconscious and the body both know exactly where the root cause is, know, you know, what it is that you need to heal and where it is. So F is find. We go in and find that root cause. Now, this does not take, because we're using the subconscious mind and the body's wisdom, this does not take a lot of conscious mind thought processing. It's not exhausting, you know, even the thought of that just feels exhausting to me, doing this all consciously. This is all about finding, using the subconscious, using the body's wisdom, finding that root cause. You know, we have all these resources within us to know exactly where that is at the moment. I stands for identify, and this is inner child work. So identifying where we felt this feeling, this emotion, you know, this resistance, whatever's happening for us, this block, for the first or the worst time. Again, we're going in to really, really pinpoint, to do this deliberate, focused, you know, work, so that actually we can come into this space of release, which is our R. So this is releasing, recoding, you know, this rapid kind of recode and release of the subconscious program, the limiting belief, the locked in emotion, you know, the energy that's locked in the body. This is coming into this release space for rapid recode. And then we come into E, which is embody. And this is where we are really stepping into and allowing ourselves to feel the magnificence of who we truly are. You know, we often, and I used to feel like this, it was like finding this new version of us. And it is because we've lived, you know, in this space probably for quite a long time. But actually this embodying is really coming into this space of truly coming into awakening to our truth, awakening to our true selves, and coming back to us. This is what this embodying is really about. We have everything that we need within us to heal. We have, you know, so many unique gifts, so many incredible gift strengths within us already. We just need to come back to this space. So embody allows us to really come into this space of, you know, understanding all of these wonderful things about us, but actually being able to feel that now. And when we can feel into something, you know, we really start to create that life for ourselves, that being for ourselves. So here's the deal. My fire methodology is so simple to use because it's so focused and it's so deliberate. Okay, so as long as you are fully committed to your change, to your embracing, you know, your future next level self, that real you that is in there already, then this process is going to work amazingly for you. This methodology is going to work amazingly for you. So continue through the videos. Continue through the videos to learn more about each of the aspects of the FIRE methodology. And if you feel called to already, by all means, book a call with me to discuss, you know, kind of what's happening for you now, but actually where you want to be and how we can leverage this FIRE methodology, my FIRE methodology, which I love, to be able to do that, you know, together. So I will leave you here and enjoy watching all